Have you ever worn a mask? I mean, a literal one, like that covers the full face and that you then can play. I have been fascinated with masks for quite a while. I came across it the first time years ago when I was reading Keith Johnston's book, Theatre and Improvisation, because he has a chapter where he talks about playing with masks and how it can, in combination with the improvisation, how it can free you from your thinking mind and how you can be more in your instinct. That's at least what I remember. It's a long, long time ago that I read that book, and I remember at the time I thought, oh, I would love to get the chance to play with the mask. And so I did. Quite a few years later, when I was doing in Heidelberg theater and education, we learned how to make your own mask, which was a lot of fun. And we also played it. And then I kind of thought I came across Lecoq. That was a certain approach, and I was totally pulled towards that approach because he was working a lot with masks. It was not the only thing, but he was working a lot with masks in his approach. And there are different masks. There's a so-called neutral one that doesn't have any expression. And there are expressive masks. Some of them, there are so-called larval masks that come from the carnival in Switzerland that were very much animalistic. So many different, and then there are obviously the half masks as well from Commedia dell'arte, for example, where you still can speak. So I decided to do that training in London at the School of Physical Theatre. And yes, so this was where I had a real deep dive into masks. We were playing the masks that Ron had, who was the teacher, and we were also building our own masks. And there were several things that were really intriguing. So we did the Commedia dell'arte masks that are half masks, and they have specific characters, and he did not tell us beforehand what character they were. And it was amazing how all of us picked up on the basic energy. And he used to say to us that you can't betray a mask, that you really have to kind of listen to what the mask wants instead of forcing the mask to do something. I also specifically remember a day where we were all playing with the expressive masks, and I was one of the last ones. And I think everyone had struggled before, but it kind of accumulated in me, and Ron stopped me in the middle of the improvisations that take the mask off, and I was close to tears. I think I was nearly crying, and he said, you know, you're betraying, you're fighting against the mask, but he also explained that it had accumulated in the room. And so all of this was very interesting, and also learning that even like in a way when you wear a costume for a character, it's also putting on a mask in a way. And maybe I need to go a little bit deeper into, it's not what we usually think, you know, pretending to be someone else. It is basically kind of a paradox. It's kind of letting go of who you think you are and really making yourself available of the energies the mask has already, if it's an expressive one, has already imprinted, or really listening to your body when it's a neutral mask. And when you have a costume for a character, it's kind of also listening to what that wants to say, and in a way not betraying the character. So I believe that when we playing a character is in another way, even though we don't put on a mask, it's also a way of playing a mask. And it gives us that huge freedom to let go of this identity of ours we think we are. And often it's an identity that so much has been shaped by how we are supposed to be in the world versus who we really in our essence are. And that's why maybe I always felt like when I was playing characters or when I was playing a mask or improvising, that I in a weird kind of way I was free of myself, and I felt much more alive for a starter, and much more myself in a I don't know, in a larger way. So I think it's something you need to experience to really understand it. And if you want to experience that, to be open to something else and to let go of yourself, to become more of yourself, then you can join our character challenge. We won't be playing with masks, but you will develop a character based on a random animal card that you will pull. We will help you to develop the character, and then you will post in our private Facebook group a 1-minute video of your character every day, and you're allowing it to evolve, you're allowing it to improvise, and you will be surprised what undiscovered things will show up, especially if you don't try to force your character that emerges to do things it doesn't want to do. So I hope you join us. We are starting next week, Thursday. I'm putting the link in the description. This is Anja. I'm a performer, improviser, actress, artist, and creative coach. Take good care. Bye-bye.